Yo, 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 welcome back to the stream, guys. What's going on? Hope you're all having a good Thursday. Jumping onto the stream today, we're going to be looking at, we got some, what's going on here? I can hear myself. Basically, we're going to be looking for news and seeing what's going on today. We've got some big news for the British pound. We're going to see how that reacts. We're going to see how if we can find any trades today, either after the news, during the news, or whatever. And yeah, we're basically just going to hang out for an hour or two and see what's going on. Yesterday was a really good stream. We managed to catch two great trades, one on GJ and one on the S&P 500. And hopefully we can repeat that today. So yeah, basically we are here. We're going to be chilling, and appreciate everyone who is joining in the stream right now. And we'll get into the charts in a moment. So let's just have a look real quick. Just gonna have a look at this. All right. Okay, so let's jump into the charts then. I'm going to show you a couple of trades that I've taken this morning offline. And then I'll show you a trade that I'm currently in, which I don't know how that's going at the moment. I haven't checked it for a little bit. And then we'll get into looking at what the news does. So let's just jump over to here. There we go. All right, guys. So we have a beautiful trade on gold that we took this morning. This is a 45-minute. Was it a 45 minutes? I think it was a 45-minute. No, it was a 4-hour. Okay. And the reason why we took this, again, pretty simple stuff, usual bits. Hey DC, what's going on, man? Welcome back. Thanks for joining again. Nice to see you still in Discord, and obviously thank you for joining the chat right now. So yeah, we're just going to look at this gold trade real quick before news comes out. We've got about 6 minutes until we get the big pound news from the Bank of England. But basically simple stuff. We got a 4-hour price action set up here. We actually missed the initial candle here. We actually entered on this second 4-hour candle, which had pulled back basically to the entrance point. So I went down to the lower time frame to look for a good point for my stop loss, which was underneath this 1-hour candle here. And then we went for a 1-to-1 on this, which was 28 pips, and we managed just to catch that earlier on in this candle here. So that was a really nice trade on gold this morning. Again, this is on gold on the futures. Okay, the ES, we actually had a micro ES trade earlier as well. Very simple stuff. Where was it? I think it was it was this 10-minute price action set up here. Had a big, obviously bearish momentum. We created a range here with this indecision candle. Price broke out. We put our stop loss below the 3-minute candle, which did the breaking, which is actually just below here. And then price just pushed up for a 1-to-2 there, which was nice. It was another 16 pips. Moving on, we have currently got this trade on oil going, and this trade is pretty simple. It is a 45-minute setup, looking for price to come back down inside the range here. I'm just going to draw him, put in, where's my, hold on a second. There we go. So yeah, so you can see here that we're potentially coming back down inside of the Asia range here with this candle. This is potentially going to happen from this price action setup where we have obviously bearish move, bit of liquidity grab off the top here. Price is now looking to push down. We've got a bullish indecision candle there, which on the lower time frames is a range. Okay, we're just breaking out that range. We've closed below, and now I'm looking for price to continue down into the range and potentially fill it down here. So we're currently in that trade live right now. And where else? What else we got? And that's about it, really. So we're going to be looking at this. We're going to jump onto the other pairs as well. We'll have a look at what GBP USD does. In fact, I might get the GBP futures up so we can look at that. Where is it? There it is. Just to look at what happens with the news. Just going over to FX Street, and that's super bright, going to make me turn into a ghost. Today we have some serious red folder news in 3 minutes for the pound. Okay, we've got the Bank of England monetary policy report, the assessment purchase facility, interest rate decisions. We got the minutes. We've got the vote rate for the rate cut, rate hike, etc., etc., etc. So this is going to be pretty big for the pound. We have a red folder again later on for 12 half past for Governor Bailey's speech as well. So the pound's going to be very volatile today, and you know, unless you know what you're doing with the news, I'd say stay out of it. The US dollar is obviously going to be affected by this news as well. So, yeah, so pretty crazy day today, to be honest. What's the news coming out? So, yeah, so the news is the Bank of England monetary policy basically just deciding whether interest rates are going to go up or down again. And there's a few other bits and bobs in there as well. As I've always said, I'm not a fundamental trader. I don't know a whole lot about what the reason for this, for these other bits, but the monetary policy is coming out, and it's going to be big volatility for the British pound. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. I can see that. Oh, I actually thought that moved a little bit more from the number there. So I'm hoping that oil won't get affected too much, because obviously we're obviously a massive buyer of oil, but we're not a massive oil country in the sense of our producing of it. We actually do produce quite a bit. I did some research on it the other day. We actually do produce quite a bit of oil, but nothing in comparison to other countries. So I'm hoping that this is going to basically not be affected. One good thing I'm noticing here is that we're actually getting this bearish 30-minute candle closing in 51 seconds. It may not close, but it looks like it's going to close back inside the Asia range, which is good for me, because then that is usually a setup for me to take a sell off of this area. So we are in a bit of profit here. We're about $40 on my Top Step account, which is good. So there we go. But DC, how's your trading been going, dude? Apologies, I've been away for a while, but my business has just been absolutely hectic. So yeah, I've just not been able to focus on the charts as much. Well, I have been focusing on the charts, but not being able to level up my trading, which I've been doing over the last couple of months, I suppose, and then also make content as well, and then run my other business. It's just been an absolute nightmare. But a good nightmare to have. You know, being busy is not a bad thing. But it just does mean I lack in content. But basically the plan is, and I went through this yesterday, the plan is now is to be live streaming once a day if I can. Okay, so let's go to we've got the news coming out now. As you can see, we've got a bit of crazy price action going on. The idea for the plan is to be streaming 3 to 4 times a week. Okay, it might just be for an hour, it might be for longer, it might even just be half an hour if we can find any trades, etc. Oh, look at this volume coming in. Oil hasn't really been affected. It's actually just pushed up, which isn't the end of the world. We are now in a downward trend, so would like to see this flip out bearish. Gold, again, not really affected, and the ES not really affected. Not really surprised that. But yeah, so going to be looking to stream 3 to 4 times a week, usually in the morning in the UK around between sort of 9 and midday, or even 1 o'clock. And then also look to bring out maybe 1 to 2 videos a week as well. So there we go. That's the plan. But I appreciate you guys going there. Yo, DT, what's going on? Good morning to you, sir. How you been doing? Thank you for coming back. Appreciate seeing some regular faces, even though I've been away for a little bit. I appreciate the 2 likes, guys. If we can get those likes up, it really does help the stream. So thank you. So how's everyone's trading been going? Everyone been working on their strategies, etc.? Okay, so just running through this trade that I'm in currently on oil. Pretty simple stuff. Basically, we're looking for price to come back in and fill the Asia range from this morning. Out a bit of profit at the moment, but that's okay. The setup was taken on the 45-minute, where we've got this 45-minute price action setup, where we've had a break out of the low here. If we do get a loss here, that's not the biggest deal in the world. And we're looking actually with our stop just above this candle here. This is our breaking candle, so this is where our stops are going to be I've got it a couple of pips above the top there, just in case it wants to make a top wick with this candle and then push back down. But let's see. Hopefully, if we can get down here, that will be a real nice continuation of the day. We've already had 2 great trades this morning, not on stream, unfortunately. I wasn't able to stream earlier, but I did grab this one, which is a 4-hour setup on gold. Okay, you've got this very familiar pattern here if you've been here for a while. Big bullish move, bearish indecision, so we've got a range here. This 4-hour candle broke out of that range and pushed up. I actually entered on this candle, which had pulled back to around the entry point. I went down to the 1-hour time frame to find a suitable stop point, which was just below the 1-hour candle, which broke out of the range, and then price pushed up for a 1-to-1 for 28 pips, which is pretty good. You have a skateboard now? Yes, that's awesome, man. How's it been going? Had any learned any new tricks? Got the ollie yet? I'm doing very well, thank you. Been super busy with work and stuff. That's why I haven't been able to make too much content for you guys. But I'm back now for the end of the year, and then going into next year, we're going to be live streaming a hell of a lot more because it's actually the easiest way for me to make content in my day. Because I can come on here, I can stream, I can trade. What I would be doing anyway. You guys can come along, watch it, trade along, or whatever you want to do. It then is content on the channel to go forward with, and then I can have like 1 to 2 videos a week where I can get some other content out as well. So that's the plan, really. But yeah, been all good. Thank you very much. Been very busy, which is good. All right, so oil's not looking great right now. This trade not looking horrendous though. Just going to go down to lower time frame, see what we got going on. If we do lose this trade, it's not the end of the world. It is what it is. We just move on to the next one. We have got quite a long time left on this candle. This candle is a 30-minute candle. It's only 5 minutes old. We've still got 4/5 of its life left, which is going to be. I just got it. It was my birthday last week. But yeah. Oh, happy birthday, man! Yes, just stay on it, get on that board, dude, and just have fun with it. Just get the rolling around down, and then everything else will just come after that. But yeah, going back to this, we've got 25 minutes left of this candle, which is always good. I always like to see it come up and kind of go out of my favor early on in its life, because then it's likely it's doing what it needs to do up here before it wants to potentially come down, flip out bearish, break that low, and continue to the downside. Obviously, it could just completely rocket up from here, but it's always nice to make sure it's like sort of doing what it needs to do, fill in these gaps potentially before we come down after that. Although obviously anything can happen. So let's see. We are on a downward trend though. As you can see, we've got a new sort of new low here. Well, it's actually not a new low. The new low is here. This is a new lower high. So now we're looking for price to respect this high and then continue down and then downward trend. Take out the lower liquidity here. Okay, we've got some liquidity down here, which has created this big move up here. And then obviously we've got a couple of gaps down here, and then we got the low of the Asia range from last night down there. So let's see. Let's see. What kind of board have you got, dude? Have you got anything in particular? I've actually snapped mine. I've got to get a new one this week, which is annoying. And actually, pretty cool. I actually got a sponsor this week. I am 31. I managed to get sponsored in my 30s by a skate wax and clothing company here in the UK, which I'm pretty stoked on. So yeah, what I might do soon is post up my private Instagram, which is where I basically post all my skate videos and stuff, because I post on there pretty much every week. But I've been trying to keep the two separate, but I might post it on the Discord if anyone wants to go and check it out. It's pretty cool. I kind of want some music, but I got copyright strikes yesterday, which is pretty lame, to be honest. Let's have a look, see what the copyright. We've received a copyright claim. Oh, that was from Oh, that was just from. Oh, that wasn't from yesterday. Oh, that's fine then. Right, let's put on. Let's put on some tunes. I thought it was from yesterday's stream. Um, it's the most boring music ever, but at least it's something. Cool. It's good to me, so I don't know what type of skateboard it is. Oh, nice, man. Let's see. Is it like quite wide? Is it quite thin? Because there's loads of different types, but that's rad that you've got one, dude. How are you finding it? Okay, so just going back to the oil trade. The oil trade's done a nice on us at the moment. It's just pushed up, flipped out bearish. It's not over yet, but that candle, which was very young, it's only still got 21 minutes left of its life, pushed up, and now we flipped out bearish back into the range, breaking out the low. This is technically a setup for me, okay, where we can have because we've now finally come back and closed inside the range here, we could take this trade. Look at this. This is nice. I may ride this all the way down, or I may take it out a little bit early because I've had a great day today. I don't want to over risk. There we go. It's $380. I'm actually going to take that for $300 there. We're going to push down for sure more, but to be honest, right now I'm happy with that on the account. That's real nice. What we could have done is put our stop to there and let that thing run. I do think we're going to come and take out this liquidity, but because of all the news going on, and we do have US news at past, which is a little time away, we'll take that $300, right? That's not too bad. We're going to watch this now go to my full TP, but hey, all good. Let's have a look at the pound. The pound obviously got some positive news. Let's go to the FX calendar and see what happened. Sorry, when this goes white, it turns me into a ghost. Right. So the consensus, basically, was that it's going to be a 5.25 interest rate. It actually did stay that, so the consensus was correct. What have we got here? Previous here. So everything was dead on, really. That was US jobs earlier, so we don't need to worry about that. That was a report. That was a report. That was dead on. So yeah, nothing too crazy, to be honest there. Obviously a positive movement here for the pound. And I can basically probably see price now continuing up to this area for the rest of the day. I'm not going to take any trades on this unless we go down to low time frames and something shows us anything, but probably not. So yeah, just running through. I see we've got a few new people joining this stream. So this morning we had a nice trade on the ES. Okay, this is a super simple trade. It's a 10-minute setup on a continuation setup. Here, basically, we had this bullish move, bearish indecision, price broke out the high, and then we went for a 1 to 2 using a lower time frame stop loss point, and that worked out beautifully. Gold this morning, we actually took a 4-hour setup, exactly the same setup, but on a 4-hour, but we actually took it a bit late after a pullback. We went down to the 1 hour to find a suitable place for our stop loss, which is here. Went for a 1 to 1, and actually that came up pretty nice for 28 pips. And then we just had this trade on oil, which is now pushing down even further, and I could have potentially kept in here a little bit more, but I want to just take the 300 quid because that's nice. We have just taken out that liquidity there, which I thought we would. And to be honest, we would have probably nearly got to our full TP there. But it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to take the bag. But there we go. Pretty good time. How's everyone's trading going today? Appreciate the likes, guys. We're up to 4 likes. Thank you very much. If we can get up to 10, that'd be sick. Trading been good lately, but just market didn't favor me well this week. That's just how it happens sometimes, man. It's how it happens. So like last week was okay. The week before last, I had a terrible week. It was just whack. Like all my setups just kind of gave me entries and then they all went against me. It was just a really bad one, and I think it was a mixture of the market and also just my psychology. Like, I had a bad start to the week, and then I was just kind of, I don't know why, I was not, can't remember why I was in a bad mood, but it just, everything wasn't lining up, and yeah, just had a bad week. But the next week we made it back, and then we made it back last week and the beginning of this week. The beginning of this week's been really good. Yesterday was great. We caught 2 good trades, one on GJ, which I haven't looked at today. Very positive. In fact, this is the trade here. We can run through it real quick. Let me just tidy this up because this is a mess. Yeah, super simple trade yesterday. This was live on stream. And this is a 30-minute price action setup. Okay, let me cut time to get rid of some noise. Basically, what we were looking for was a reaction out of the bottom of this candle here. We got that. We actually got an entry as this candle pulled back. Okay, we went down to the lower time frames. We went down to this point to find a suitable point for our stop, which we did. We went for a 1 to 7.9, so we're going for 10 pips here to come down and fill this fair value gap and take out the liquidity of these equal lows, which it did. And that was a really nice quick trade going down there. So if you want to watch that, the VOD is up on the channel. Obviously after this stream, if you want to go check it out. We also got another trade on the S&P 500 as well yesterday. So yeah, we got a nice trade on oil. Oil has now pushed down. I reckon we would have been at our full TP there basically, but I took it a little bit early. I pussied out there, to be honest. Are you only trading in London? Today I'm probably only trading in London. I'm probably going to be on today until, I don't know, I might be on quite a while today, to be honest, because my next appointment, I've got a phone call at 2 o'clock. Yeah, next appointment's at 2, so might stay on to like sort of 1:30 or so. Maybe for New York Open we can see what's going on. So there we go. I would have got my full TP there if we kept in that trade. I pussied out and took the $300, and sometimes, so look, that would have been, we're going for a 1 to 2. We would have just got taken out there. Is what it is. Is what it is. But there we go. Yeah, that would have been perfect too. I don't know why I took it out. I was just like, yep, let's take it, $300. But we could have had close to 1,000 there if we kept in. But there you go. Good to have your mind in the right place. Sometimes. But a win's a win, and we take that. Okay, so we're going to look around now, see if we can find any other opportunities. Gold has started to really consolidate over the last hour or so. So there's nothing really for me going on gold, if I'm honest. How long have we got left on these hour candles? Okay, so we actually have got something on gold if we want it, if it gives it us. So we've got 44 minutes left on this candle. I'm going to move this over here just so we can see what's going on. But basically, we've got this candle set up here, right? So we're obviously in an upward trend. The 4 hour is looking very bullish. As you can see, we've kind of had a liquidity grab off the bottom here, and then price is pushing up. We've actually closed above this high, and we can look for price potentially to move up. Gold has been bullish over the last, well, in October because of the unfortunate unsettlement in the world. Okay, anytime there's war or humans being bad to one another, gold is a safe haven for many investors. So people buy gold. So it's been doing very well. Overall, let's go to the daily. We haven't really changed the character of the trend, although we have come to an area of interest to the left here, which is potentially going to cause some resistance. Okay, we've got liquidity above here, which obviously has been taken out, and then price could potentially react off here. But with everything going on in the world, I think that potentially gold is going to continue and maybe look to make new all-time highs over the next few weeks or towards the end of the year. That's not certainty, that's just my opinion. But in the short term, what we could be looking for here with this hour candle is if this hour candle, which has now just taken a liquidity grab off the bottom of this previous one, can break out the top of here. All right, so if this candle can go sort of from here push up, break out the high here, and then we can look for price to continue up and into this wick fill to the left. So our trade would look a little something like this. But only we're going to take this trade if this candle does actually flip up here and break out the high. If it doesn't, then we won't take a trade. So that's what we're going to be looking for on gold in over the next hour or so. Okay. That will obviously be a really nice situation and one where we can come up to look for a wick fill. If we go down to the lower time frames, we can see that also we haven't actually filled in these fair value gaps to the left. Okay, we've got a supply zone which is push price down, so we could look for price to push up. Obviously our target would be above this supply zone, but we could look to take a small amount of profit because this is 34 pips. We could look for a smaller amount going forward. Going for the ES is absolutely rammed up. Now obviously we had that great trade earlier which I told you about. This wasn't on stream, but it was just, this morning, so my bias was bullish and we could have actually held a nice trade continuing. After that big move there, we're probably not going to get any opportunities for a little bit, at least for my trading strategies. We're going to have to wait to see if anything happens there. And in oil, obviously we had this trade earlier which worked out very nicely. We took it out a little bit early because our main TP was down here. We took it out around here, but again we'll just have to wait and see really. Patience is the game. I appreciate the 5 likes, guys. If we can get up to 10 likes today, we did yesterday, that would be sick. I would really appreciate that. Any questions about anything, guys? Leave it in the chat. I'm here to answer some questions, talk about strategies. We can go look at any pairs that you might particularly want to have a look at. We're here for it. We're here for it. Oh, okay. Potentially just missed a opportunity here on a sell on gold. Now, just by the way, guys, this, if you're just joining, this was drawn in a second ago as a trade idea. This was not a trade that we've taken. This was a trade we took earlier today. We've just missed a liquidity grab price action setup here. Potential. Would we have got our 10 pips there? Just about. I wouldn't have taken this. It's a little bit messy with what's going on, and obviously we are in an upward trend here. So just looking at stuff. What we're looking for here is this candle to flip out bullish and break out this high. That would be great. Up to 6 likes now. I see you guys. Thank you. The likes really do help the algorithm find the stream, which is really helpful. So let's go back to the pound here. So this is the pound futures, and we're just having a look at what's going on. Not much. I probably won't be trading this today unless we find an absolutely stunning setup. I don't really trade the pound anymore. We're mostly trading oil. Oil is our main trading tool right now. It's our favorite thing to trade for sure. It's such a great it's great for my strategy, at least. I used to hate oil back in the day. Used to try and trade it all the time, and it never used to work for me. But recently it's been very nice. It's been very friendly to me, which is good. So yeah, not much going on now really. We just got to wait until we get another opportunity. The news has kind of passed. The news hasn't really given anything too much of an issue. Or the news was for the British pound, and the pound has basically interest rates have, I don't know if they've stayed the same. Well, they have stayed the same, yeah, because previous was 5.25. So interest rates have not risen. Everything is equal. These rate hikes, etc., are all sort of unchanged. So nothing crazy for this red folder news today. So now that this is passed, the next thing we've got in 8 minutes is some fairly medium news for the USD. Okay, Obviously we had FOMC yesterday, which did make price go pretty crazy, but it wasn't the craziest one I've seen. Then we've got Governor Bailey's speech at which is in 8 minutes. That's likely going to not affect price that much, considering the main results has already come out before. So yeah. So we had that again. We had that nice trade a second ago on oil. Oil is now potentially going to give us a setup, and we can look for price to break out the low. I'm actually just going to put these back on so I can see what's going on again. Okay, just by the way, if any of you are interested in what I'm putting, I use a couple of things to show me where price is at, and that is I use the London kill zone area. Okay, so this shows me where the London kill zone is, and the candles there. I do have a strategy not within it, but using it once it's printed. We can use that as a zone to trade from. We also later on in the day we have the New York kill zone here, which also once again have a strategy which you can use to trade from. You also have the ICT silver bullet strategy within there if you want to trade that, which we do trade from time to time. The other one here is this sort of curvy looking thing here. This is the Asia range. Now those of you who've been in the channel for a while know what that is, but just basically gives me an idea of where the Asia range is, and I can draw in a high and low, and at that point I can also use this to give me a few opportunities as well, a bit like what we got here. And then this straight line just tells me where midnight is, and that midnight line is very useful, so I can see where the day starts from. And that's about it, really. Nothing crazy. I'm waiting for NAS 100 to pull back to take buys if that happens. All right, I haven't looked at NAS in so long. We'll have a look at it today. Chappelle, seems like you're cutting out on your sound. Oh, okay. Thank you for pointing that out, dude. Let me just make sure everything's in. Let me just go and check that. Let me know if that happens again. It might be this cable. I do need to get a new set of headphones, but please keep me posted on that if I am breaking out. Sorry about that. See, we're up to 8 likes now, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, DTTV. Let's go to look at NAS. I haven't looked at NAS for forever, almost so that I can see some old markings from whenever I last looked at it, which was probably, God, where are they? It's a long ass time ago. That's all I can say. So you're waiting for a pullback to take buys. Yeah, okay, can see that. We're just taking out liquidity off the top of these equal highs on obviously the way higher time frames. Basically, the reason why I don't trade NAS and I just trade the S&P 500 is because before, when I used to have both of them up, they look very similar, right? So we're on NAS now. If we go to the S&P, you can see they look very similar. Very similar, okay? And that would get confusing for me because I'd be looking at the two of them trying to find different opportunities for potentially the same chart, which is a different reading. So I decided to eradicate the NAS and then just stick with the S&P. But I don't look at the S&P or trade it very often, to be honest. It's something I'm in and out with. As I say, oil and gold now are my two main pairs. You could get your pullback in a minute. If this candle here breaks out the low of this candle, we could actually look to take a trade here. Not saying this is going to happen. We don't have no top wick on this candle. But if this candle broke out the low here, we could potentially look for a pullback down to this volume zone here. Okay, we've got the high volume zone here. This is also the point of control currently. So you could get your pullback. Let's look at the ES. Let's do NQ. I want NQ and then I want the lower risking one. We'll go for that. Okay. I'm going to take a small trade here, like a real small trade, maybe like $50 or something. Potential of earning $50. And we're going to go down to the 1 minute. Going to go for here. This is super small trade, all right? Just for the sake of it, because we haven't traded NAS for a while. Gave us a fairly decent looking setup. So we'll go for 1 to 2 here. I mean, this is only going to give us what, like, doesn't even want to say. $26 if we win this. If we lose this, this is about $15. The last trade we just got on oil was about 300 odd. So if we don't get this, it was fine. I'll tell you the reason why I've taken it. Basically, we've had a stall in price. Okay, price is stalled after this big volume move up. We had an indecision candle here, and then we had a liquidity grab down the bottom there, and price tried to break out the top. Price hasn't really broken out the top here at all. It had a little bit, but then we've had this instant bearish volume, and then created a second price action setup where basically we've got a range here. We're breaking out of the range, and we could potentially come down to fill these fair value gaps down here. Okay. So that's why I've taken a super small trade here because it was a bit off the whim, off the cuff. But currently we're in profit. And if I had taken a bigger one, where would we be at now? We'd be probably at around a little bit more profit. But there we go. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Oh, we might get stopped out here. I've put my stop loss above the second 1 minute candle here for our stop. Potentially what we could see here is this candle either smash through our stop loss, or because we've pushed up immediately, we could see this candle push up. It's doing what it needs to do. Then it's going to flip out bearish and then maybe break out this low, continuing us down towards our target. Or it will just go and take us out. But let's see. Probably going to get stopped out for a loss of, oh, not lost yet. Could be a liquidity grab off the top of here. We could flip out bearish in a second. Yo, you've been, yeah, not that late, dude. We've only been on for, I don't even know how long we've been on for. No, you're not that late, man. You're all good. How's it going? Thanks for coming back. Appreciate seeing you here in the chat. There we go. We got absolutely blasted there. Okay. Oh, I actually didn't see the 10 minute there. 10 minutes given us a perfect setup here. Price action setup. The 5 minute there was the wrong choice, but it is what it is. This is the brand new candle here. And that brand new 10 minute candle absolutely rocketed above there. Look at that. I'm glad we didn't take a big trade on that. What's your recent thoughts about Forex? Yo, Rad. So I haven't really been trading Forex a whole lot. I was just going through this. I don't trade it often now because I found that I needed to... I was getting too much noise with too many pairs. So the only actual Forex pair... I've got these all on the left here. I'm actually going to get rid of the ones I don't... We're looking at this today because we had big news. But basically all I trade now is oil and gold, also the S&P 500. And then on my small Forex account, which I have, the only other pair I trade is GJ because it works best with my strategy. Other than that, I don't look at the Forex pairs too much these days, purely because it created too much noise for me. And I needed to whittle it down to the pairs that I was getting the best results from. And that ended up being two commodities, which is oil and gold. GJ, which works out really nicely with my strat, and then the S&P 500 as an indice, which is also, it also works out quite nicely. So if that's what you mean, I don't know, maybe you're asking me if my opinion on what the Forex market's doing right now. But yeah, that's my personal reasons for not trading Forex as much as I used to right now. Really annoyed I missed that NAS opportunity there because we were looking at the lower time frame. That 10 minute was absolutely perfect, but never mind. Had a really good start to the day. Just for the people joining now, we can look at some trades we have taken today. One we've taken on stream, which was for oil. Oil's potentially going to give us another setup here. I'm just going to go to the higher time frames just to have a look at something. We're looking for actually oil to flip out bearish if we break out the Asia lows, which is interesting. You see I've got this white line here. This white line is the bottom of the Asia low from yesterday or last night. Okay, so if this daily candle flips out bearish, we're actually breaking out the Asia low and flipping bearish on the candle, which is quite interesting. And then 15 minutes is potentially going to give us a opportunity if we can break out the low here. So I'm going to throw my thing there. I did used to trade Forex a lot back in the day. You're right. But things change. People evolve. My trading thing has evolved. Just book some plus on EU. Nice. Yeah, so I'm not against Forex anymore, and my strategies do work on there, but I just needed to bring the amount of things I look at down. And it might look like I look at a lot of things here, but this is the same chart. Okay, we just got contracts, micro contracts and normal contracts. So this is oil, gold, and ES, and then this is micro ES. And I've only got the pound here just because of the news. I wanted to see what happened, but I don't trade this anymore very often, if at all, to be honest. Because you don't have to be trading all loads of pairs and stuff to be profitable. You just need to focus on the things that you know. Because at the end of the day, you only need one pair with one strategy and you're good to go, right? I've still used my Asia fake out breakout strategy. I use the price action setup the most. And then I've got a couple new, basically the same strategy for the Asia, but I use the London kill zone and the New York kill zone. And I do still trade the silver bullet from time to time on the ES. That's basically why I've got it on there. So yeah, what about supply and demand? Yeah, so supply and demand, I know everyone loves supply and demand. I used to love supply and demand, but now I don't trade it very often. It is a great strategy and it does work, but I've kind of feel like I've gone beyond supply and demand now. Supply and demand is a thing, right? Literally the Forex, all the markets are made up of supply and demand, but the strategy itself does work, but I find it's almost secondary price action, right? So if you think about price action and what these candles are doing, okay, you've got what these individual candles are doing and why, but then you've also got like the areas of which the candles create, which is what supply and demand is, right? So supply and demand is an area created. Okay, if you're trading it properly, you're looking for an area like this area up here. Okay, this is a good example. This area has been created by candles, all right, and we would draw in a box across here. Then we had a touch in, and this would have been a beautiful trade, right? This would have been a great supply and demand trade. But the issue is with supply and demand is you've got to find these situations, okay? You've got to find these points, and not always do they hold up. Not always are they strong, and sometimes those areas basically go from being resistance, they could become support, etc. So that's kind of price action taken back from actual price action, which is what the candles do and why they form. And that's kind of where I've got to with my trading now. You know, when I started all those years ago, it went from having, you know, oscillators. In fact, I found this indicator on my favorites from years ago. I didn't even know I had it, called half trend. And look what it does. Like, it puts all this on there, and then like it's a bit like Bollinger Bands, but it's different. I can't even remember what the strategy was that I was trying to achieve with this. Lots of people use it though. It's still got 8,400 people who either liked it or downloaded it. I don't know what that number means. But yeah, so supply and demand is great, and if I do see a decent supply and demand setup, I will still take it, but I don't actively look for them anymore, because I found a strategy that works better for me and I'm more profitable with it. So, you know, there's no point in continuing with something that isn't working the best for you. But as I say, it is still a great strategy, but yeah, for me, I've just kind of changed my my outlook on it, to be honest, to be completely honest. So there we go. I see we got 1 like away from being at 10 likes, which is what we got yesterday, which will be sick. So if we can get that, it really does help the stream, guys, helps the channel. Just a quick update for those guys who've just joined and haven't been here for a bit. I've been away for a couple of months. I did kind of come back here and post a video here, but I just couldn't get back into the groove of it because of my other business. I'm a personal trainer, as that business and also some other bits and bobs to do with skateboarding, etc., has really got busy for me. So it kind of took my time away from being able to focus on the channel. Yay, 10 likes. Thank you, guys. Whoever did that, you're the best. I have been working still the same amount on my trading. Okay, still trading privately. Still working on my trading and you know, ever evolving, because there's never an end point with anything in life, but there's never an end point with trading where you're like, yes, that's it. You always got to keep growing and learning. I just want to keep getting better and better year on year, month on month, or whatever, right? So I haven't had time to like focus on making videos, etc. as well. And then well, I've also been busy for a couple of months, as you can tell. Yeah. So now we're back though. I've kind of created the point where I can. The plan is, guys, is to live stream minimum 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, if I can get in once every day, like even if it's just for an hour, even a half an hour, to come on here, try and find a trade, and if I find it and I've got enough time, you know, that's the end of the stream. That would be it. If I've got longer, like today, I don't have to be off for about an hour or so. Then, you know, we can sit here, chat, look for trades, watch the charts, and see what's going on. So that's going to be like the main source of content now, is going to be the live streams. And they're good because, one, they give you know, live opportunities, but they also will be on the channel to watch back for anyone who wants to. Then I'm going to look to make 1 to 2 videos a week, either a live trade that I've taken outside of live streaming, educational strategy videos. The next video I want to make is actually on the fixed range profile indicator. Okay, now it's not one that I think any of you have ever seen me trade on, but it's one that I used to trade before I started the YouTube channel. And these days I use it mostly for targets, and just look at areas of interest and give me an idea of what price is doing. If I draw it in here, you can see it tells me where the highest volume areas are. Okay, so we've got a volume cluster here, we've got a volume cluster here, which is on this sort of top of this move here. We've got a volume cluster here, and a little one here, etc. And what it does also is it can help you look to see where clean traffic is. Okay, you see where these big voids are. This is where there's not a lot of orders, which basically means clean traffic. Sometimes that could mean fair value gaps. It could mean whatever. But usually what I found is that price likes to move fast through these areas. So if you've got a setup lining up with one of these ahead, you could potentially look to have your first TP or full TP at the next volume cluster, right? So I'm going to make a video on that over the next week or so. Get that posted up. Just as something a little bit different. And kind of create some videos just about trading in general. So that's the plan. Okay, so there'll be live streams and videos, and also some vloggy stuff as well. I'm going away at Christmas, so I'm gonna hopefully vlog that, get some trading done while I'm away. What else are we doing? Yeah, going to do some skateboarding. I've also got another really cool video planned for this month, if I can get down there across London to the financial district. Yeah, I did try and film it once already, but all the files got corrupted, which sucked because it was really good and it took quite a while, so I'm going to have to redo it. But I do need a second pair of hands, so I need to wait until a friend comes up to help me do it, unless I can, like, I don't know, I've got to figure it out. But yeah, that's the plan. But I do really appreciate seeing all you guys back in the chat, and appreciate you still holding on. I know the Discord's been pretty dead too. Again, I've just kind of just had to, I don't know, just focus on everything else, which is what I've been doing. And literally today, just for the skateboarding stuff, I actually got my first sponsor. Actually, I had a sponsor years ago, but they went out of business. But the sponsor is called Butter Wax, okay? And they've just sent me a box of wax, clothes, and all sorts of stuff. They actually fit loads of stuff in this box. I got like 4 hats, 4 t-shirts, 4 loads of wax, some beanies and stuff as well. So I've just been hella busy, man. Just been hella busy. But there we go. Right, so let's go back to the charts. We've had a little bit. Sometimes it's good to just have a little break. We've got a potential hit on oil. pulling back. It's a 5 minute. Okay, so idea potentially for this trade. I'm not going to take it actually because it's got resistance here, but I can see that we've got a bearish move here with a bullish candle pushing out the top. We go down to lower time frames. Yeah, I'm not going to take this trade because we're going against the trend, but that did just jump out at me. And sometimes when I get the jump like that, that means it's going to be a good setup. So we'll watch this. I'm not going to take it. I'll put this as a test trade. Hey, I like that skateboard emoji, man. Where's that? Like, the skateboard emoji on the iPhone looks so whack. That looks cool with the red wheels, man. I like that. Yo, Ad, appreciate you coming back, man. You were here yesterday. How's it going? Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, so quick one. I reckon we're going to come up and fill this fair value gap. We'll go for a... I'm just debating whether I want to take this or not. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Right. Ah! Where did my alert go? So if you were with us earlier, this gold candle eventually did flip up and break out the high here. And then if we're going down to... Okay, we could take a trade here. I'm going to take a trade here. Okay. So I'm going to run through why I'm taking this trade right now. Earlier, I don't know if you were still here. I'm in gold. You're in gold longs. That would be cool. Yeah, so I'm just going to run through the reason why we were looking at this. So this candle here was actually down, bearish down around here, but we'd had just taken out the low of this indecision candle here. What I said was I'm going to wait for price to flip bullish and break out the high, which it did. It did do that, as we can see, and we've just pulled back. So I didn't get an alert. I'm sure I set an alert, but unless it went off and I didn't pay any attention. Anyway, what we have just had is a pullback after that break. So I went down to the lower time frames. The time frame that I use after I find a setup on the 1 hour. So with this strategy, I have a... If I find a setup on, say, the 1 hour, I then go to the 20 minute. If I find a setup on the 15, I go to the 5. And then I find a suitable place for my stop loss, which is below the candle which did the breaking. We just had a pullback, okay, with this fairly new candle. It's still got 3/4 of its life left, and it has no top wick. So we're pushing down. We filled in the gap between here and here. And now we can look for price to potentially come up, flip bullish, and come up to this area here. Now we've got this resistance on the 20 minute. And this is also resistance on the... Not on the 1 hour. The 1 hour we've already broken above. So we can look for price to potentially push up. Now in this situation, normally go from a strategy of a 1 to 2, which we have got going on here, and that's 48 pips up to the top there, which is great. So I've only gone for one contract here. And there we go. We're in the trade. Pretty simple stuff, really. Cool. So we're going to set an alert when we potentially come up to here, and I'll decide what I want to do, whether I want to take the profit or not, depending on how it looks. So far, in about 6 ticks of profit, okay, about $50 up. So one contract on the top step account is every 1 tick is a $10 move. Okay, so 7 ticks right now, 6 ticks is $60, and you can see that here on the left. All right, so I'm really happy with that. That kind of worked out how I wanted it to from earlier. We had that liquidity grab off the bottom here. We did actually push down quite a bit, flipped up bullish, broke out the high. We got in on the rewind. Okay, your TP's at 199. Lovely. I'm actually going up to 201. As I said earlier, unfortunately, when on planet Earth, when humans decide to be crappy to each other and start to fight each other, gold becomes very bullish. It's a safe haven for those who, gold is one of the most safest investments. I say safe investment. Nothing's a safe investment, but gold is, always going to be there. It's a precious metal, and when the world gets turbulent, usually gold goes up. And last month, obviously, we had the news of the turbulence going on, and we had a big bullish move, and therefore a bullish move. Basically, I don't know what else I want to say there. Going to the higher time frames, we're at 90 ticks now, 80 ticks, which is good. Oh, sorry, 8 ticks. Going to the higher time frames, we go to the 6. You can see that we've had a bit of consolidation. Okay, this is the all-time high up here at 2295. I'm pretty sure. Yep. And with the situation and everything going on, I can see that gold potentially keep on moving up. Let's go to the 12-month chart. So this is a yearly chart. Okay. And what we can see is obviously we've had a pullback. We then come up, and we've actually had a closure above the recent highest closures on the yearly chart. And now basically I can see price coming up to break out the top of last year's high, and then price continuing from there. So okay, so we're about $100 in profit now on this. Now potentially could have gone for a higher risk, a higher amount. Obviously more contracts. Could have been up about $300 here if we went on the same as that oil trade. But because of the size of the stop loss, I wanted just to keep it quite low. And obviously if we get up to our full point here, that's 48 ticks. That's $480. So not too bad. But you're looking pretty good for where's 199? There you go. 199 is actually on the flip of the 20-minute candle here. By the way, I don't ever trade the 20-minute candle. The 20-minute chart is for stop loss placement only. I never trade the 20-minute chart. I do trade the 10 though, but not the 20. Also looking to the left here, you can see that we've got fair value gaps up ahead. Obviously we've got a area here which is also interesting because we have technically had a change of character in the trend. Now let me get rid of some of this noise again. So looking at this, you can see that we've got this big what's it called, demand zone. Now going back to this earlier, you can see this demand zone never held up, right? It just kind of, this would have been a beautiful demand zone, and lots of people would have taken buys here, as you can see, off of this 1 hour candle. Okay, and it just didn't work out. Okay, and that's half the reason why I stopped trading supply and demand so much, is because there'd just be so many situations where this would happen. There's a supply zone here. We did get a move. You could have got a trade there, fine. But this is secondary price action, right? We're looking for zones. We're not actually looking at the candles themselves to give us the information to trade with. And I think that, actually learning that about how the candles actually move and why they move and what they're doing is far more important than sort of a layer back from that, which is supply and demand zones. Okay, like I use support and resistance zones for sure now, but that's not what I'm using. I'm using the candles to tell me what to do rather than the support and resistance, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so we've actually had a change of character in the higher time frame trend here. Okay, so this is like the most recent higher low. Higher low. Then we had a new higher high, and then we had this push down, which has actually made a new lower low from this higher low here. So this is technically a change of character. And then up here, we've obviously got a demand zone, likely looking nice on the 30-minute. Yeah. Sorry, a supply zone, I meant to say, which created that breaker structure of this major demand zone. Okay, so from here, we actually had this big push down, creating the new lower low. So what we could see price now do is come up to this area and maybe react off it before continuing to push up more. So let's see, or it could come down. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is that I've taken this trade because it followed my rules, and that's why we're in it. I'm also long in platinum. Platinum's an interesting one. I have looked at that before. Platinum futures, let's have a look at that. I'm actually getting married next year, and 2 weeks ago. Went to the jewelers here in London in Hatton Gardens. Chose out my ring, and it's going to be just a very simple platinum wedding band. So I'm looking forward to getting that. Crazy stuff, getting married. Man's getting old. Now, platinum looks very different to gold. Platinum's looking very... Thank you very much, Ad. Appreciate the congratulations there. Yeah, looking at platinum looks quite nice. I'm just trying to have a quick glance to see if I can see my setups, and I can see a lot, actually. Yeah, it looks quite nice. Okay, interesting stuff going on with gold right now. I'm just going to jump back on here. See this price action? This candle is still got 3/4 of its life left. I want to see this candle potentially either respect the high or just flick down below and then push up, and then that would be a really nice situation for us to take a trade. If this breaks above the high here, I could potentially enter a second position. I could bring my first position to break even, basically with my stop just below the low. The second position, then our stop loss would be down here, and we'd be in about the same risk, but we have potential to gain double the amount. So if this candle can flip above here, bullish, make a top wick, and continue to the upside, then we'll enter a second position. We'll bring our current position to break even, and then from there we can look for price to push up. So yeah. But yeah, thank you, Ad, for the congratulations. It's going to be in May next year, which is mad, but exciting, very exciting. I'm still toying with the idea of having a mini ramp at the wedding, you know, like a half pipe. I want to really do it, and my fiance, because she's super cool, said I can, but I'm just kind of questioning it because I just know that someone's going to get drunk, they're going to get on it, they're going to wreck themselves, they're going to have to get taken to the hospital, and it's going to be a whole thing. Whereas like, I skate after having a few drinks all the time. Like, you know, me and my best mate, we would be fine, and we're probably the only people that are going to the wedding that would be fine to skate at it in any situation. But I know, like, I don't know, my uncle's going to just get on there and have a go or something. So I'm a bit like, I'm not sure if I want to have it or not. It would be cool. But I just know someone's going to go on there and hurt themselves. And I don't want to ruin my fiance's big day because some idiots hurt themselves on the skate ramp. Okay, so quick update on the gold trade. Coming down to around break even now. Earlier we wanted price, this candle, which was down here, to flip up bullish and break out the high, which it did. So now we're looking for price to continue. We're just retesting the low of this 10-minute candle. So now I'd like to see this candle come up, flip out bullish, and break out the high. Oh, congratulations. That's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to, you know, getting to that point. I actually met my fiance when we were at school. We've been back together, like during school and college. We were like on and off and stuff, and really good friends. We have the same friend group now. But we've technically been like together for like 8 years now. I think it's 8 years. Yeah, October 2015. I'm looking at the picture up there. Yeah. So, but congratulations on that. That's awesome. I love to see people that are together for a long time. That's what it's about. As long as you find the right person. I got one friend. He's terrible at picking partners. He's so bad. Okay, we're getting a bit of volume to the upside now on gold. A little bit. It's kind of playing around. What time is it? It's nearly 1 o'clock. We've got about half an hour until... Oh, no. So the clocks have gone back. If I'm... See, this gets me every year. When the clocks go back here in the UK, it changes the hour of which the New York Open is. So are we back at 12:30 New York Open? So we're already in New York session. I always get so confused by this. No, of course not. What am I on about? It's not going to be till 2:30 now, rather than. Oh, I don't know. I need to look that up again. Don't know why I'm like struggling with it so much. All right, so this trade kind of a bit flat at the moment. If we can get back up to around $100, I may just take the profit. We've still got 2.5 minutes, a quarter of this candle's life left to push. Yeah, market does it. Yeah, okay, so it's going to be 1/2 now, yeah, rather than 1/2. Yeah. I'm so, yeah, because last Sunday the clocks have gone back or something, and now I'm just like, I don't know. Confused. Look at the ES, god damn. ES is flying. That oil trade would have worked out if we'd taken it. Should have taken that oil trade. But never mind. Sometimes I just saw this fair value gap here. I just saw the fact this setup here, it just was looking too good with this break of this candle. Should have taken it, but there we go. At least we got the analysis right, so we'll take that as a small win, just not a financial win. An analysis win, we'll call it. Got potential looking here, right here. So I can already see my setup forming on this lower time frame. So let's go and have a look at the 10. The 10, if we can break out the top of the 10 here, I could look for a long on platinum. US changes time on 5th November. Yes, that is correct. Oh, look, we can take a long. Let's take our first ever trade on platinum here. Going to go for a stop below the candle, which is broken the candle's high that we're looking for. And we're going to go for a 1 to 2. Let's see how this plays out. Going a little bit quick fire here. Not really what I normally do, but hey, this is showing itself. And if you see your setup, you trade it, you win, you lose, you move on. That's literally how this game works. Okay, gold is pushing up now. Nice. So we've still got 30 odd seconds or so. If this candle can push up and break out the high, that's going to be great. I could take this $120 right now, which would be fantastic, but we have got a chance of making $480, which is even better, obviously. Platinum, what are we going to get with that? With one contract, we're going to potentially be able to make $180, which is great. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I actually got a friend that they're going to run the New York Marathon this weekend, and they said that their clocks do change on Sunday. I'm definitely... Oh... Ho 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 ho. 30-minute. Oh no, I thought we were going to get set up there. It was looking real nice for a potential setup with this pattern here. So yeah, could have taken that oil trade. That would have been really nice. We're now breaking out on the... I'm in too many trades, so I'm not going to take any more trades right now. But we're breaking out the low of the Asia range, which means that the daily candle on oil has flipped bearish now, as you can see. And obviously with a potentially a new lower high, we haven't made a change of character in the trend yet. To change the character of this trend, we'd have to break out the low of this, which potentially over the next few days oil could come down and do, if it doesn't react off the zone and then push up. But yeah, that daily candle has just flipped bearish as we've broken out the low of the Asia range. Let's go back to platinum, see what's going on. Platinum got dangerously close to stopping us out. We've just liquidity grabbed off the bottom of the 3-minute candle, which broke the high. So ideally now I'd like to see this keep pushing up, and the next candle respect this candle's low and then push up. Let's go back to gold. Gold is looking fire, to be honest, not going to lie. It did push back down again. The 15-minute. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. There we go. Our highest point of the trade so far, $150, $160 there nearly. Gold just gave me a little alert to say it's doing its thing. Platinum's pushing back up. And platinum is obviously looking quite nice because we've got this big extensive move. Likely want to come and fill in this fair value gaps down here. And this would be a good opportunity to show you the fixed range that we've got. Okay, and you can see here we've got so much non-traffic here that likely price is going to come up to this little volume cluster before it reacts. We're in profit now on platinum, first ever platinum trade, so this would be great if we can get this trade as a winner. I mean, it's already a winner. We could take $30 profit, but if we can get up to our 36 here, that would be fantastic. With gold and the fact that in 30 minutes we have got open, okay, I might just take the gold's trade out around this white line here, if we get there, that is. But we'll see. But yeah, so we've got a volume cluster here, which prices obviously just had a reaction off of. As you can see, we've just had a pullback after tapping in. But if we can push up through, and if we did get up to this area, price is going to move very quickly through this because there's no resistance here. Okay, there's resistance here to the left, but there's no resistance in this move, and this is just clean traffic for price to push up to this supply zone, basically. But let's see. Not too worried if we lose this. It's quite obviously a low risk trade. There we go. Oh. This is going down, and actually this is a prime example where we've got obviously a big long fair value gap. We've got next to no volume. I could take this trade here. My setup is actually has appeared here on the 15-minute. It would look something a little like this. Maybe just go to this resistance here. A little bit late now, so I'm not going to take it, but we can see if price pushes down, put another test trade here. Put an alert if we do get stopped out, hit our TP, sorry. Okay, ES. Looking like it wants to have a pullback at some point. It's been in an absolute rager for the last half an hour or so. Oil doing its thing. Pretty successful stream today. We've had one good trade on oil. We had one very micro trade we tried on the NAS, which didn't work out, unfortunately, but that was only like a $12 loss. I think we earned about $3.20 on that gold trade. And then yesterday's stream, we also got 2 for 2, so doing all right. If we can get this not oil trade, this gold trade up to this line here, I'm probably definitely going to take it out. That would just be quite nice. And then platinum's pushing up. If we can get out to here for that 36, that would be the first platinum trade we've ever taken, and that would be pretty cool too. Oh yeah, sorry. I appreciate. I think it's. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Hold on. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, it just dropped down there when I went on to OBS. Yeah, I don't know why it pops up from time to time. That should be in view now. Okay, so gold is pushing down a little bit. Not the end of the world. It got better for a sec. Hopefully it's still the same. I don't know if it's gone back, is it? Oh yeah, it just popped back up. That's so weird. Let me try that. There we go. I'll keep it like that for now. That should work. Right, so gold's back at break even. Bit of a shame. We're actually losing right now, which is also a bit of a shame. Down $40. Platinum's going up though, which is okay. Now, hopefully this is just a bit of a pullback in this overall trend here for gold. Still pretty happy with this, considering we've still got an hour left on this candle. I think we're just having a bit of a pullback with this opening of this new candle before price can potentially push up, flip back bullish, and then continue to the upside. Now, considering this trade and the time that it is, I'm going to have to go very soon, unfortunately. But what I will do is update the results of these trades on our Discord. So if you want to go check out the Discord, the link should be in the description below if you're not already in there. That platinum trade's looking pretty good. Now, obviously, if we can get up here and take out the platinum trade and the gold trade does lose, then we're about break even on the two trades. So that would be great. Gold's back into profit. I think that what we could see here is either this candle does what it needs to do, flip out bullish and pushes up from here, or we create another indecision candle and then we can look for price to continue up into this area. And I do think we do want to come up to this area here. We clearly are pushing up. We've closed above these hour levels here. And I don't really see us coming back down too quickly. Maybe when we hit this resistance to the left here, it might pull back, but hopefully we can get up to this white line, which I think is where I'm probably going to close the trade out for the day anyway. Oh, look at that. For platinum is pushing hard now. We're just breaking up through this volume cluster here. So if we can keep pushing on platinum, that's going to be sick. But yeah, I think I'm probably going to leave the stream here now. Thank you for everyone who's joined. I know we've lost quite a few viewers now, but thank you for everyone who's joined. Thank you, Ad, for being in the chat, and appreciate you coming back today. I am going to be streaming again tomorrow, so hopefully see you there if you're available. Please show me the volume indicator. Okay, I'll do that before I go because I can. All right. So the volume indicator, if you want to find it, is it's called the fixed range volume profile. Okay, if you just type that into the indicator panel, you should find it. It does look very different, I seem to remember, than what I've got here. I've edited it to match my theme, and also I've changed, I think, the number of nodes that there are. Basically, to use it, real quick brief rundown. So for example, if I wanted to see the volume of this area, now obviously with my naked eye now, I don't really necessarily need to use it because I can see that here is obviously low volume, but it's good to find volume clusters, right? So what you do, it always lives up here as well. It always lives, if you put it in your favorites, it's the quickest way to find it. And this little drop down arrow, use it from going from a high to a low, or a low to a high of a move, and then you draw it in, and then it will just come up with the volume volume areas. Okay, so you know this could potentially be a target up here, this little volume cluster after this big expanse of emptiness. This could be a target up here, and that's how to go. And then just have a play around with it. It's actually really interesting. Like, you know, if you go to like the 1 hour, you know, it's really interesting to see what it comes up with. So from low to high here, obviously this is going to be the point of control where all these orders are, this consolidation. But then you got like a little node here, which is just this area here. So clearly at this point, lots of orders were placed, okay, because obviously we had big bullish move candle here, so lots of buying orders were obviously from there. Then when price came back to here, those orders got respected and then pushed price up again. So it's quite cool to see how it works. And you know, and also likely, and actually I'm going to close this platinum trade out. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Do you know what? No, we're not. We're going to move our stop loss to break even, and then we have a break even trade here. About 100 and, well, we were about $110 in profit, but we're just breaking into that low volume zone now on the 15-minute. So view up, platinum view up, and soon, nice. But you know, because it's the end of the stream, we're at $90. I do think we're probably going to push a little bit more. It's risk-free. I'm not too worried about that. How's gold doing again? Gold's still doing all right. So we're up, which is good. Yeah, no, it's just a really cool. It's a cool little little indicator that you can use either to trade from zones, like you can trade off these zones. As I was just about to say, actually, that, you know, when price does come down to this area, it's likely we're going to get a resistance off of here. You know, we get a move off of this area because there's so much volume here. Price will likely give us a bounce or whatever. So we go $85. So take that on platinum actually. Although I do think we're going to keep going up. I know VWAP's there, but we have obviously also got resistance support to the left. But we've got that clear traffic up. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue there. Gold is kind of doing its thing. We're about $50 in profit, whatever. So I'm going to actually leave the stream here. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, this is going to be a regular thing now. Every week, 2 to 3 to 4 times a week. Maybe even some weekend streams for backtesting and strategy stuff. So yeah, anyway, thank you, appreciate you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.